welcome to Copenhagen, thanks for dropping in. Today I am unboxing a diamond painting from Paint with Diamonds. So just to clarify before I start this one, this is from paintwithdiamonds.com. It is not from paintingwithdiamonds.co.uk. It can be a bit confusing because the names are so similar, but it's paintwithdiamonds.com that this one came from. So typical grey bag. The box is damaged. I don't know if it shows up that well on camera, but the end is square. The centre isn't. It's been. This is the side, the top edge, which is behind the bottom edge. So we'll see how it's turned out. Something's hit it in the centre and it's damaged the box, but normally a box being damaged like this doesn't really affect anything inside because nothing inside is really breakable. The worst thing probably is if the canvas gets creased, but it needs to be bent pretty badly for that to happen. Anyway, we'll see what we've got inside this one. So this is the second one that I've bought from Paint with Diamonds. I did one quite a while ago, a very colourful dog, and I really enjoyed doing that one. So we'll see how this one compares, and we'll also see the condition of the box. Yeah, so get a better idea of the damage. So as I said, paintwithdiamonds.com. This end of the box is okay. We've got some instructions how to get started for people that might be totally new. They have their Facebook, Instagram. We've got a support group, so people to contact if you're having problems. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Warning, choking hazard. Keep away from small children, obviously. So one end of the box is okay, the other end of the box isn't really. You can see it's been bashed that way. So something's hit it. I'm sure it didn't leave the factory like that. It's the postal service to blame for that one. But we'll see how it turned out inside. There's a lot of lilac, is that? Canvas, just checking, nothing else in the box. I'll carefully place that on the floor. So first things first, we'll have a look and see what is inside the bag. I'll try and get the rustling part done as fast as I can. So big bags of drills, and they're already in resealable bags, which is good, and they have the number that relates to the key, and they also have the DMC number, so it makes it a lot easier to get things going, especially if you're new and you don't have all the containers that we've started. As you've been doing this longer, you start to look for containers to hold your drills, whether it's tic-tac boxes or whatever. If you're just starting out, you won't have any of that, so the bags being labelled and numbered is really good, because then you just tip the drills into the tray, and you can work from there, and then you just pour them back into the bag. And you can work like that, but over time people start to find new ways to store the drills. So a lot of drills, just having a look again, they look clean, they're free moving, they're not sticking to each other or anything like that, so they look fine. Clean squares, they look good. I actually prefer them when they come like this in these individual bags rather than the big long strings. A lot of companies would just have bags of 200 that come in a chain, and they just count how many they need to reach the number. So like here, 6224, that'll be how many's in the bag. So they're all in the one bag. It's not like a big chain of bags. Okay, just again having a quick check. I do notice that with these bags, if you don't open them, it feels as if the drills are all stuck together. They feel like a solid mass. All you have to do is open the bag, let some air into them, and then like this one, this feels as if the drills are all stuck together, they're not moving. But if I open it, just let some air in and close it again, yeah, and more free moving. So if you think they're stuck together, just try opening the bag, and hopefully they're okay. So push them to the side. Oops, nearly forgot the goodie bag. Goodie bag, pretty much typical. Just take them out. So we have the pink pen, standard pink pen. Green tray, which doesn't have the spout, so difficult to use with Tic Tac boxes. And we'll be using squares, so we've put in some tweezers. Just pretty much standard tweezers. They do have the curve, which is a bit better, or I prefer, than just the straight point. So they're okay. And pink wax, rectangle, pretty much standard again, just generic pink wax. And one last thing, we have a multiplacer. So for anybody who's new, the multiplacer goes in the end of the pen. So you see the pen, it's just like a straw, and this just pushes in the end. And what you can do is put wax in here, so you have a little line of wax, and then you can line up your drills, and in your tray, if you get them in a little row, you can use the multiplacer to pick up a few at a time and put them down. Comes in handy if you're working on large areas. I have never used one. I just prefer to place the drills individually, and that's just my preference. So handy to have, something that you can try if you've never tried before. Main thing now, the canvas, and as you can see, this is where it was bashed. How bad this is going to be, I'm not sure, but I will open it up and we can have a look. You can see they have foam inside, which has actually stopped it creasing completely, but something's hit this pretty hard to do that through the box. If it hadn't, the foam tube inside, this would have been a lot worse. So this is the thumbnail. bullfinches on a branch in the winter time, and this one is called Winter Gaze. That is gaze as in G-A-Z-E if you're in America, or G-A-Z-E if you're in the UK. And it is, I forget the size, I did see it in it. So 40 colours, and it's an 80 by 60. So a good size. We'll open it up and we'll see what the damage is. So they do have a 100% guarantee if you're not satisfied or not happy. We'll see what this is like when I open it up. If I think it's going to be a problem, I'll just email them and I'll show them the damage, and they should send a replacement. But I have had things like this before that I've decided just to try, and they've actually worked out okay. Just get the sellotape off this. But this is pretty much in the centre, so it could be a problem. It doesn't actually look that bad, I don't think, once the drills are down on that. There's no major creases, but I'll have a look at the other side. So this is what was inside it, piece of foam, and again you can see it's been pretty well bashed, but the foam has helped minimise the damage, but whether it's minimised it enough, I don't know. Okay, the problem that I've got here is the canvas is bigger than the table, and it is all small strips. Turn it this way. Should fit nearly. So what have we got? 3, 5, 5 and a bit strips. A lot of times this comes as one sheet, sometimes it'll come as 2, but they've done it in smaller sheets, which actually is a good thing. May as well have a look at the key before I start trying to unravel stuff. A bit awkward. So as I said, it's 3 bullfinches in the winter time. Got 2 males there, pink and female. The reason that I picked this one is my wife and I were out for a walk during the summertime, and we saw a male bullfinch. We walk in a place where there are a lot of trees, really nice walk, and we saw a male bullfinch, which I think it's only the second time I've seen one up there. When I saw this picture, it reminded me of that, so I decided to get a diamond painting. I tend to go for things that relate to something that reminds me of something, or somewhere we've been, or something we've done, or something we've seen, that sort of thing. Most of the diamond paintings have got some kind of story behind them. So then we move to the key. Very clear, easy to read. You see the codes, no problem reading this at all. And like it said, 40 colours. So the canvas is quite soft and pliable. It's not sort of stiff and starchy like some of them can be, so it makes it easy to work. So I'm going to go for this, I think. So this is double-sided glue. It's not poured glue, and I know that because it has the opaque covering. If they use poured glue, it's always clear. Poured glue is glue that's actually poured onto the canvas. The big advantage of the poured glue is you don't get bubbles and ripples. With the double-sided glue, it's basically a sheet of glue. One side sticks to the canvas, the other side is what you work on. So when that is getting made and when it gets creased and things, it can cause air bubbles underneath the surface, which can be a pain, but normally they're pretty easy to fix with a very sharp knife, which I have spoke about before. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cover off the glue, and again, I explain this every time because I know there are always new people coming in. So what I've done there is I've picked the cover off the glue and I touched the back of the paper to make sure that it isn't sticky, because you can actually, if you're unlucky, you catch the corner of that glue and you can peel it up by accident, not know you've done it, peel it back quite far, then you might get a crease in it, or it folds back in itself, or it sticks to itself and you're in major trouble. So just that couple of seconds, you can see that the glue always overlaps the picture, you always get this border. So all I've done is I've just carefully peeled that off, and that is okay. So because they're thin strips, this actually works really well, because that is the width there. So what I do, oh, okay, maybe not. I think I've pulled up this one, and that one is very slightly over the top. So I'm better working from the opposites. I should have checked that, just wasn't paying attention. So we'll go for this side. And again, I'm just double checking that that is not sticky. This one's a bit thinner. So peel it back, take it roughly what I think is about halfway, and then put it back on, and then do the same with the next one. Again, just get my nail under that cover, checking the paper, not sticky, everything's fine. Peel it back, roughly halfway, and put it back. Not too bothered about it being exact when I put it back at the moment. The reason that I'm doing this is to flatten out the canvas. If I don't do it, the canvas tries to roll back into a circle. So if you do this and take the cover off, or peel it back at least, you're aiming for about halfway. It really doesn't matter how far you go, but don't try and peel it all the way. It's just it's more awkward because you've got a lot more glue exposed, that's all. No real reason for that, but it's just easier if you only go halfway. Put the paper back. This is the one that tore because I wasn't watching. Again, just checking that I'm not getting the glue. So that went okay. And then back to the one that I had started on. Like I said, just wasn't paying attention. Okay, this is different then, because I thought what was happening was it was stuck under the other one, but it looks as if the cover has actually stuck to the glue. So this is the first time this has happened to me. So see if I can get it off without damaging the surface. So I'm just gently working it, getting a piece that I can grip, and lifting it up. It still wants to rip, so keep working it. Okay, that is the first time that has happened to me. I initially thought it was because this one was overlapping this one, and I had my finger here, and when I pulled it I thought that's what tore it, but it wasn't. Kind of weird. There must have been a little nick in it, and it's just started to tear because of that. So no big drama. So that's that half done, and then all you do is turn it around, and you can see that this half here, these tweezers, these are, if you ever get these tweezers, don't lose this because they are extremely sharp. Always remember to put the cap on. Yeah, you can see that this side is laying flat, but if we go to the top, it's still curled up. You see, if I hadn't peeled the cover off, it would just be a roll again. So the reason that I'm doing this is to flatten the canvas. So back to the top. It actually is easier to work when it's thin strips like this. So we'll try again. Nice and slow, keep my fingers out of the way in case it was me that did that. So no problems that time. So I went past halfway there. When you pull the paper, it'll feel tight, and then when you hit the area that you've uncovered from the opposite end, it suddenly goes loose. So when you feel that, you know you've went far enough. And then you can just put it back. Now again, I'm not being too accurate with how I put it back because I'm going to take all of the paper off to let you see the actual canvas. Not really recommended to do for any length of time because this glue is very, very sticky, and especially if you have pets like cats and dogs that shed hair, leaving this glue exposed for any length of time is not a good idea because you will end up with hairs stuck to it, and you're going to spend your time going over it and trying to pick hair off it. The larger the area that you've got exposed, the more chance it's going to happen. So uncovering a whole canvas this size and leaving it lying in the room is not a good idea. But you will also get fluff, dust, maybe small flies in the summertime, crumbs if you're eating over it, which I wouldn't recommend. Okay, so that is it. So now I'm figuring out how I'm going to do this. I'm not going to be able to show the whole thing because it's too big, but what I'll do is I'll uncover this section and then we can have a look at this. This is the creased area. We can have a look at that and see if it's done anything to the glue. So all I'm doing just now is I'm peeling all these strips just past halfway. So now this whole area is exposed and very, very sticky. So the last thing I want to do is let this go and let it hit the floor because it will pick up every little bit of dust. So that is the canvas, and I'm looking at the middle bit that was creased and I can't see any problems. You can see it looks fine. So even although it was, it looked pretty badly wrinkled, that isn't going to be a problem. No, that'll be absolutely fine. Once I get the drills on it and get the weight of the drills down on it, that'll be fine. There's no air bubbles, it hasn't ripped the glue hasn't came off the canvas or anything like that. So it's going to be absolutely fine. So if you do get something turning up and the box is damaged, don't panic. Wait until you've actually had a chance to look at it. As I said, the stuff in the box isn't really breakable compared to some things. So the canvas isn't going to snap. The main thing is getting really solid creases. If you get really sharp creases, they can be very, very hard to get out. But no problems at all with this. It looks good. Actually, I'll do a little close up again. The symbols are very clear, and I don't see any ripples on the surface of it at all, which is really good. So looking forward to eventually getting around to this one. I've got quite a backlog. I might try and get this done for Christmas, but I already have some other Christmas stuff that I want to get done, so maybe this will be a next Christmas. Not last Christmas, next Christmas. Yeah, so that's it. So that was Winter Gaze by Paint with Diamonds. You may have noticed that there was no checklist. Most of the companies give you a check sheet to check. As I said, the drills tend to come in long strings of little bags, and you have to go through and check that you've got the correct number of bags. Because Paint with Diamonds do it differently and you get this little bag, you don't have to do that. What you do is you've got the first number is the number on your list, the second number is the DMC number, and the third number is how many drills. So if you look at the canvas, it has the same three things. So all you do is look at the canvas and check that this number has this many drills, and you're done. No cutting little bags open and no counting long strings of bags. I did have one in the past that had a lot of black in it, so I had to manually count 350 bags of 310. If they had done this system, I would have had maybe one huge bag, but probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 big bags, and the total would have added up to what I needed. That would have saved me a lot of time. So I like this way that they do this, where they're already labelled, numbered, and you see how many. So all you do is just check that number against your canvas and you're good to go. Very quick. I like. So as I said, that was the second one I've had from Paint with Diamonds. The box was damaged, as you saw, buckled a bit in the centre, but looking at the box I was kind of worried about it, but once I opened it up and saw the canvas, I'm absolutely sure there is going to be no problem with that. And a lot of that comes down to that foam tube that was in the centre. It just helps to stop the canvas. If it does get bashed like that, it stops it creasing severely, because that is the worst thing. If it really creases, a sharp crease, you're really going to struggle to try and get that out of the canvas. So that didn't happen, so I'm quite happy. Again, it absolutely sure it did not leave Paint with Diamonds like that. It's been in post, and you find that if the bigger the canvases get, the more chance, because they get longer and they're quite thin, and the postal service are throwing boxes in and whatever into the van, the longer that box is, the more chance it's going to get damaged. So it comes down to, a lot of times you expect the occasional bash here and there, You're not going to keep the box and frame it. Doesn't matter. As long as it does its job, you're fine. So that's it for today. Just a quick mention again, if you want to get in touch, I do have a Facebook group, Painting with Diamonds. Painting with Diamonds? Diamond Painting Gym, even. So, Diamond Painting Gym on Facebook groups if you're interested. No politics, no arguments. All we talk about is diamond painting, show pictures, what we're working on, ask questions if we've got questions about things, get advice from each other, share experiences, all that sort of thing. So it's a very relaxed group, and everybody seems to be, not everybody comments in it either. I noticed that. I've noticed a lot of people just look. They don't do anything. They don't like. They don't anything, which is fine. That's fine. But there are people that like to post their pictures, and we get a little bit of fun going, talking about people's obsessions with collecting pens. I don't understand that one myself. But anyway, if you're interested in that, where you can actually sit and have a little conversation. I noticed the Facebook groups thing where they can set up rooms. I've never done it. I'm thinking about doing it, which means we'd actually be able to do like a video conference type thing where we can sit and talk to each other rather than type to each other, which I think could be a bit of fun. So I might start doing some of them. Apart from that, I've got Instagram, again, Diamond Painting Gym, not Painting with Diamonds, Diamond Painting Gym. I post occasional videos and things up there that I don't put up anywhere else. So if you're interested in that, please give me a follow. And of course, as everybody on YouTube says, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and you will see when the next video comes up. So in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.